Hello, everyone. Welcome to Unity of New Westminster's celebration service. Please join in the singing of our opening song today. Welcome back. I am Reverend Rona Segura, and it is my pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the community at Unity of New Westminster in beautiful British Columbia, Canada. We would love to stay connected with you, so please subscribe to our newsletter or like us on Facebook or subscribe to our YouTube channel, and that way you can always know what's going on in our community. The Unity movement offers ideas for full and abundant living. We draw on the teachings of Jesus, who we consider our primary way shower and example. And we honor that there is universal wisdom to be found in faith traditions, in song, in story, in poetry, all over the planet. We respect and honor every person's right to choose their own life path. All are welcome here. All are worthy here. All are celebrated here.
We open our service today in prayer. I gratefully acknowledge that I speak to you on the traditional and unceded territory of the Semiahmoo First Nation. And we give thanks to First Nation peoples everywhere for their custody of this beautiful land. We give thanks for our connection one with each other. That connection that happens whether we are in each other's physical presence or not. That connection that binds us all together. We acknowledge that there is only one presence, that there is only one power, that power that is understood by many names, many faces, and many paths. And we affirm that regardless of the name, the face, or the path of our understanding, that we are one human family. And it is in that knowledge of our oneness that we send a blessing for love, for peace, for contentment to every being on this planet, to every being, regardless of all the labels that threaten to divide us. We are one. And for this knowledge, for this intention, and for the power that we have to bless, we give thanks. Amen.
I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart. And I will hold my heart like a newborn baby child. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart. And I will hold my heart like a newborn baby child. And I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will be easy on myself. I will be easy on myself. And I love myself like a newborn baby child. I will be easy on myself. I will be easy on myself. And I love myself like a newborn baby child. And I will only go as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. And I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. Now I know I am gentle with myself. I am gentle with myself, and I hold myself like a newborn baby child. I am gentle with myself. I am gentle with myself, and I hold myself like a newborn baby child. And I rock myself like a newborn baby child. And I hold myself like a newborn baby child. And I love myself like a newborn baby child.
A few years ago, when I was in my last year at seminary, our class was to create a memorial service for someone. And the memorial service was to start at 11 o'clock that morning. And of course, we were all coming in from different parts of the country and had only arrived the day before. And that morning then, when we got to the church and we were going to be creating and putting together this ceremony, the first thing that we all wanted to do was get moving, get going, get things done. And our instructor stopped us and she said, "Sit, take a breath." And then she led us into a time of quiet. It seemed like that time of quiet lasted forever. But what happened was, when we came out of it, we were more centered. We were more connected with each other and more focused on what needed to be done. That story is something that I was reminded of when I was preparing this talk today, the talk about Mary and Martha, what I think of as a tale of two sisters. Have you ever felt as if you've been pulled in different directions with too much to do? And do you find at times that there are things that you leave out so that you can do things that need to be done that seem to be immediate? But sometimes the things that you leave out are the things that really matter. Do you ever struggle to balance downtime, time to just be, with the obligations of life with so much to do? Well, the story of Mary and Martha gives us insight into how to recognize that feeling, as well as what to do about it when we are feeling this urgency to get things done. And the message of the story is really that whatever we choose to do, that we do it with some intention and that we do it with a level of calm and enjoyment. Mary and Martha were Lazarus's sisters. And other than the disciples who Jesus mentored We only really hear about stories involving Jesus's friends, Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. They were like the best friends. They all loved each other and socialized together. I think of Jesus, needing to take a break from ministry occasionally, and he would go to Mary's house and Martha's house and the house of Lazarus. And that was where it was like he could relax and just be. We see this story told in chapter 10 of Luke, beginning at the 38th verse. And the story goes like this. Now, as they went on their way, he entered a certain village where a woman named Martha welcomed him into her home. She had a sister named Mary who sat at the Lord's feet and listened to what he was saying. But Martha was distracted by her many tasks. So she came to him and asked, "Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to do all the work by myself? Tell her then to help me." But the Lord answered her, "Martha, Martha, you are worried and distracted by many things. There is need of only one thing. Mary has chosen the better part, which will not be taken away from her." And that is the end of the story as it is written in Luke. So we've got Martha welcoming Jesus into her home. And then, like any good hostess, she gets busy. I can imagine her making the tea, getting the snacks together, making sure that everyone has food and everyone has something to drink and everyone is being taken care of. And while she's busy doing all of these things, her sister Mary is doing nothing, taking time out to sit at Jesus's feet and listen to the wisdom of the master teacher. I can imagine Martha feeling that she's the responsible one. It's her house, after all. Feeling overworked, underappreciated, feeling resentment that Mary isn't helping her with these duties. On the other hand, Mary is quite peaceful in her decision to take a time out and sit at Jesus's feet. She's decided that it's more important to be present with him than it is to be busy and even to take care of the people around who are visiting. And it's pretty clear that Martha doesn't think that Mary is being fair or that she's being considerate. And what's really interesting is in her agitation, Martha doesn't go to her sister Mary and complain. She goes to Jesus. And Jesus, instead of responding in the way that Martha hopes, Jesus observes that Martha is worried and distracted. And he basically tells her that Mary's choosing a better way. And we see this contrast between the two sisters. Martha, worried, distracted. Mary, peaceful, calm, open, and still. We see Martha's tension. We can almost feel it in the wording of the story. And it's somewhat surprising that Jesus' response is so clear that it is wiser to choose Mary's way. And maybe it isn't so surprising because Mary's way is calmer. It's more centered. It's actually more present. What does this mean for us? Well, as
you know, the stories and events in the Bible can be interesting just as stories. They can also be used as illustrations and lessons about how to live more fully and peacefully and joyfully. And to find these other meanings, we look at the characters and the places and events in different ways to see how we can see ourselves in the story, to see how the events that unfold in the story could be representations of events in our lives and in our world. And we can sometimes look at the stories and see how the people and places and events are actually stories within us that happen inside of us too. And so today, I explore a couple of these aspects of interpretation and a couple of ideas about interpretation of the story. And what really seems to come clear to me as I contemplated this story is that there are two parts. One is to choose the things that matter to you, and the other is to do whatever that is and approach it with joy, whatever you choose to do. Let's look at the story just at face value. I'm guessing that most of us can think of a Mary or a Martha or two in our lives. It appears that Mary is being selfish or inconsiderate as she leaves her sister to tend to the guest. I know I was taught growing up that hospitality is important, that the guests should be fed and tended to. So doesn't Martha have a point? I mean, imagine what would have happened if Martha also sat down with Mary at Jesus's feet. And what if nobody took care of the hospitality? What if nobody thought about what might be provided for food and for drinks and perhaps for places to sleep? There'd be some hungry people out there. It's not that what Martha didn't matter. It was important work that she was doing. Taking care of guests is something that is important too. As I was reading this, I found myself laughing because I can identify, and those who know me will know, that I can identify with the busyness of Martha. I am always on the go. But I didn't identify as much with the resentment that Martha felt. And I think this is a key idea to notice. Martha feels resentful, anxious, overworked perhaps. Mary feels quite at peace. Jesus notes that Martha is worried and distracted by many things. It's as if she's doing more than is actually necessary. And then on top of that, she's resentful about what she is doing or what Mary isn't doing. And there's a sense a little bit of being a victim at the same time. And what I know is that some people would thrive on the idea of preparing for guests. They would thrive on the idea of feeding guests, of providing for guests. And yet Martha was kind of resentful. And I don't know, and it's hard to know, if it's because she didn't have Mary's help, or if she wanted to be with Mary and also sit at the feet of Jesus, or whether it was something else. We don't know. But I wonder if part of her resentment is because she expected something different from Mary, her sister. And what would have happened if Martha had no reference for what she perceived Mary's role should be? If she had no expectation of Mary, would she then have been more happy to take care of her guests? Where do we do something and then expect others to contribute in a similar way? Where are we like Martha, doing something, serving in some way, and then expecting others to also do the same? It could be in our families, in our workplaces, in our friendships. Do we expect others to work just because we do, to serve just because we serve? What if we didn't mind? What if we contributed, worked, served, because it's what we want to do, because it's what we want to do, with no concern about what other people choose to do? So that is one question that we can ask ourselves. Are we giving freely, joyfully, choosing to do what we are doing and coming from that place of giving joyfully? As soon as we are expecting someone else to do the same, we are paving the way for resentment. So let us just choose to do what we want to do and do it joyfully. And then, are we doing too much? Is there a way that we can make our lives simpler and easier? Is there a place where we add too much expectation of ourselves, which prevents us from being present to the people in our lives? What would happen if the dishes didn't get done right after supper? What if you could just relax and enjoy being with the people that matter? That is another aspect of the story that we might consider. And this brings us to another way of looking at the story, and that is that Jesus in the story can represent the things that matter to us, the relationships which are important to us, the things that are important to us, that endure for us, the things that may not always be with us, the people that may not always be with us. In this type of interpretation, Martha can represent our doingness, all that busy stuff, both necessary and unnecessary, that can distract us from giving attention to the things that matter. And then it can also lead us to feeling flustered and resentful because we can't get to that place of quiet. Mary can represent our beingness, the willingness to be okay with setting the busyness aside so that we can give attention to the important parts of our life, including our own self-development and our rest, our self-restoration. We see this as an example all the time with something that I grew up with or internalized. I'm not even sure if it's part of my family. I don't think so. It's just something I picked up and internalized. And that is the idea that work must be done before rest can be enjoyed. I can imagine Martha driven to finish the work first, and then they'll take time to sit with Jesus. It's the idea of, I'll do this and then. When this is done, then. And what we know is that there's always more work to be done. There's always something that will be on our to-do list. And so the idea of catching up before we rest, it's a false goal. We will never catch up. There will always be something to do. And what Mary's example tells us, supported by Jesus, is that it is okay to take time to rest, to take time to renew, to not be on task all the time. And oh my goodness, I'm hearing myself speak these words, and there's a part of me that resists it. It doesn't mean that we're going to ignore obligations, but rather that we give ourselves permission to take time out, to focus on our own development, to spend time with our friends and our families and our spouses and our children. We want to find that balance between our doingness, represented by Martha, and our beingness, represented by Mary. And think of the consequences of being so focused on the stuff that should be done, that we defer the important aspects of our lives, where we delay the important aspects of our lives. The phrase that keeps repeating in my mind is missed opportunity. Missed opportunity, characterized by the words, if only, and I wish I'd. And an example that I can think of is a parent who is so focused on providing for their family that they work all the time and they miss their child's first steps or their child's graduation or being there at meal times, or they're not there for their spouses. When we have so much going on, some of it necessary, some of it unnecessary, that we aren't present to the things that matter. And then when it is too late, we wish that we had spent more time with our family and friends, more time attending to things that matter. And one of the songs that came to mind as I was thinking about this was the song Cats in the Cradle by Harry Chapin. Perhaps one of the saddest and truest songs that I've ever heard. I'll just share some of it with you. The lyrics go, "My child arrived just the other day. He came to the world in the usual way, but there were planes to catch and bills to pay. He learned to walk while I was away, and he was talking 'fore I knew it. And as he grew, he'd say, I'm going to be like you, Dad. You know, I'm going to be like you.' And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man in the moon. When you coming home, Dad? I don't know when, but we'll get together then. You know, we'll have a good time then." Missed opportunities. Consider how important that task is. Instead, don't wait. Don't miss the opportunity to do the important things
including spending time with the people who matter to you, including spending time doing nothing. Give yourself permission to be Mary. Don't wait. Don't miss your opportunities. Choose the things that matter. And then when you do choose, whatever you choose, whether it's to sit in Mary style and be at the feet of Jesus, or whether it is to be more like Martha and on the go, choose to do it joyfully, peacefully, without expectation. Notice that this would not even have been a story if Martha hadn't complained to Jesus. If she was completely at peace with her choice to take care of her guests, then she would also have been at peace with Mary's choice to sit at Jesus's feet. And I think in this way, we can look at another aspect of the Mary and Martha story, and that is as different energies. There's an energy of Mary. She is peaceful, open, exactly where she wants to be. And then the energy of Martha in this story, overwhelmed, feeling resentful, irritated, anxious. And I think that it doesn't matter how busy we are. We can be extremely busy, productive, and active, and we can still have the energy of Mary. So another way of looking at this story is to begin like Mary, to choose to have the energy of Mary, no matter what we do. That way we can choose the things that matter to us and approach them with joy. And this is kind of a form of metaphysical interpretation. And a quick way to understand metaphysical interpretation is to add the words "in me" to the characters and places and events in a story. In this way of looking at the story, Jesus in us is the place of quiet, of calm, of peace, a place of wholeness and contentment. It is the place where all parts of us are integrated, accepted, are harmonious, the kingdom of God. Mary in us is that place within us where we can be still, where we are connected with our values, where we know what feeds us and fills us. It is sometimes thought of as living from our heart space, where we are free to choose what we want to do and we can be present to what matters to us. Mary's energy is our being nature, peaceful, open, calm. In contrast, we have Martha, our mind, our thoughts, that part of us that never stops thinking, that often judges and compares, that can worry and be distracted, that can believe that stillness equals laziness, that part of us that needs to be busy. And it Martha can represent our doing nature. And remember that Jesus, Martha, Mary are all aspects of us. All of these characters live within us. It's just a matter of what we begin with. What do we focus on? When we allow ourselves to be irritable and restless and resentful of the time that we take to be still, when our Martha is judging our Mary, then that's when we can see Martha is at work. Often we see that our desire to be still, to be relaxed, to take time out to play and meditate and learn can be distracted by Martha. Our Mary, our heart, can be distracted by our mind. And yet Jesus, the wisdom in us, says that Mary has the better way. We want a healthy relationship between our doing and our being. Mary and Martha, sisters. If Mary has the better way, then that means that whatever we choose to do, we want to start with stillness, with calm, even when we have plenty to do. And so let's think about our Mary and Martha and the relationship between the two. Let's consider putting people before things, especially the important people before less important people to us. Let us put ourselves in that important list and take care of ourselves. Let's ask ourselves whether what we are doing really is important. Let's ask ourselves if we can accept that there will always be more to do and allow ourselves to rest anyway. These are some of the lessons from Mary and Martha. As we go about our day, as we go about our life, let us recognize that there is always something to do. Let's discern whether or not some of it needs to be done. But let us also recognize that whatever we choose to do, that we want to start by connecting with the Mary part of us first. Connect with your heart first. Connect with the peaceful part of you first. Just as we did at that memorial service when I was at school, rather than go straight into the busyness, take time to be still. There is an old Zen proverb that says, you should sit in meditation for 20 minutes every day, unless you're too busy. Then you should sit for an hour. When you find yourself feeling resentful, take time to be still, and like Mary, connect with the divinity within you. When you find yourself overwhelmed, take time to be still and connect with the divinity within you. When you have a choice between the important and the really important, choose the really important. when you make the choice to be in busy doing mode. Again, take time to be still. Start with the energy of Mary. Then go and do what you choose to do. Choose the things that matter and approach all of them with joy. I bless you.
I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought I have the power to change my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought I have the power to change my life. And if you ask me who am I am wisdom, I am light. I am more than meets the eye. I cannot be defined. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought I have the power to change my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought I have the power to change my life. And if you ask me what am I am beauty, I am joy. I am more than meets the eye. I cannot be defined. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts I have the power to change my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts I have the power to change my life. I can choose to be the light that brightens someone's darkest night. And so much more than meets the eye. I cannot be defined. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts I have the power to change my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts I have the power to change my life. I have the power to change my life. I have the power to change my life.
Please join us on Zoom on Mondays at 10:30 for a time of prayer and meditation. All are welcome to join us as we share a time of connection and renewal, and as we hold people in prayer. At this service, we check in and share with each other. We have a time of guided prayer, and we read the names of the people on our prayer list. It is an uplifting and restful experience. All are welcome. Every Monday from 10:30 a.m. till 11:15 a.m. on Zoom. Please join us. On Sunday, June the 12th, come to church as you normally do, but rather than dressing up in your Sunday best, wear your Sunday worst. After the service, we'll prepare space for the foundation of our medicine wheel labyrinth. we need to dig down 4 inches. So come dressed in your grubbies, bring shovels, gloves, tarps, and wheelbarrows if you have them, and we'll have a party that day after the service. We'll serve coffee, juice, and snacks for everyone, and it'll be fun and it'll be productive. In the weeks after that, the concrete work will begin. And remember to please share this information with your friends, and especially invite them to donate to the GoFundMe. Search Unity Medicine Wheel Labyrinth, and that way you can donate or have your friends donate to our GoFundMe campaign. See you after service when you dress down on Sunday, June the 12th.
Lyle has finished the star blanket and it is hanging in the fellowship hall. It is a queen-size quilt made from 13 pairs of denim jeans, and there are 350 carefully chosen pieces that make up the design. We will raffle the blanket off with tickets, which are $10 each or 3 for $25. And we expect to have the raffle tickets available sometime in the next couple of weeks. Thank you, Lyle, for this amazing gift. It is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful work, and you are a beautiful person. So grateful for you.
Now that we're back in person, it is time to reactivate some of the teams which serve our community so well. Sharon Blackwell, who has led our greeter and usher team so beautifully for the last several years, is stepping down from her position at the end of June. Sharon is willing to train any people who want to be new greeters or ushers before she steps down. And we would be delighted if someone would step up to become team lead of the ushers and greeters. If you are someone who is outgoing, friendly, and organized, and if you're interested in joining the usher team or becoming the lead, then please connect with Sharon or with me. If you prefer to serve in some other way, we are looking for people to help in the kitchen, to help with cleaning, to help with gardening. And if you're willing to host the Zoom call on a Sunday or to work on the audiovisual team, we would welcome your commitment there as well. If we get enough people on each of the teams, then only one person needs to be assigned to a role once a month. This is where many hands make light work. Let's all step up and step in and share the workload. There's a sign-up sheet in the fellowship hall for each of these areas. This is your opportunity to serve. Cindy's Creative Cafe and Karaoke is back for the first time since the pandemic. It is a chance for you to paint, draw, sing, tell a story, or express yourself artistically in some other way. Admission is by donation, and if you want to paint, the cost is $20, which pays for the materials. Here is your chance to connect with friends, to share your talents, and to learn something new. Please share this information with your family and friends. All are welcome on the last Sunday of each month from 12:30 to 3:30 p.m. Yay, coffee time is back. After almost 2 years without our famous hospitality hour, we are excited to announce that coffee time is back. The time after the Sunday service is so meaningful for our community. It is when we enjoy a hot or cold drink and snacks, and we connect and visit with each other. If it feels comfortable for you, please join us in the fellowship hall after service. We are grateful for the financial support which we receive from those who enjoy our programs. With the pandemic, some of our expenses have been lessened and some of our expenses don't go away. So thank you for your generosity, which supports our ministry. We give a portion of our income to organizations that do amazing work in our community, both locally and in our province. So your gifts make a difference in lives. We welcome donations by credit card, check, cash, or our preferred method, Interac e-transfer, to Unity of New Westminster at gmail.com. Interac is free of service charges. Thank you. Now, please bring to your hands, to your hearts, or to your minds something that you are grateful for, as we give thanks and remember how much we have to be grateful for. We are so blessed.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And we come to the end of another service. I thank you for joining us. I hope that you enjoyed your experience with us today. I wish you all a very, very blessed week. Goodbye, everybody.
That was meant to be, with God as creator, family are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
I am the light of God. I am the love of God. I am the power of God. I am the presence of God. How